When Walt Disney World closed the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser in September 2023, it marked the end of one of the most ambitious and controversial Disney projects ever attempted. Located just outside Disney's Hollywood studios, the Starcruiser was a 2-day, 2-night adventure where guests could live out a full Star Wars fantasy. You weren't just staying in a themed hotel, you were part of the story, set in the sequel trilogy where everything from dinner to lightsaber training connected to a larger narrative. On board, many fans were blown away by the detail, the performances, and sense of immersion, but the price tag, often exceeding $6,000 for a family of 4, left just as many fans frustrated or unable to experience it. Now the building sits quietly, only used by Imagineering, which makes me wonder, could Disney one day reopen the Starcruiser in a way that actually works? I think that they could, and today I want to share 5 exciting ways Disney could bring back the Starcruiser in a way that I think would please fans. The first idea is turning the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser into a daytime experience rather than a 2-night hotel stay. Right now, the structure is locked into the idea of a cruise in space, complete with cabins, dining rooms, and character interactions spread across multiple days, but the magic really happened in the common areas: the atrium, the bridge where you learn to defend the ship, the engineering room where kids and adults alike solve puzzles to keep things running. Guests got to train with a lightsaber, interact with alien performers like Gaia, droids, and more, and be part of a branching story where the choices you made affected the journey and how it unfolded for you. Albeit this wasn't always smooth running, but it still was pretty impressive for many who boarded. What if Disney condensed all of that into a 2 to 4 hour premium experience? Skip the cabins, skip the overnight factor, and focus on the best highlights of the journey. Most of the cabins were pretty small anyway, with no real windows and limited amenities, so removing the hotel aspect isn't really a loss. Sure, the bathrooms were nice in the rooms, but this adventure was really never about the rooms. Reimagining the building into something more like a themed attraction could allow Imagineers to keep the ship immersive while letting more people come on board for just a few hours. Second, Disney could reuse the space by creating a breakfast or dinner show, or maybe even a brunch show. Imagine this: you arrive on a transport shuttle, step aboard the Halcyon's atrium, and sit down to a meal surrounded by characters. Unlimited blue milk is served, live entertainment from Star Wars performers like Gaia, and suddenly the ship is under attack. The lights dim, alarms go off, and you're asked to join the crew in the atrium to see how the story unfolds. This keeps the immersive spirit alive, but also makes it more approachable for families who just want a meal and a show. The Starcruiser's original food was creative. Sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. Some dishes were really fun and captured this sort of out-of-this-world vibe, but let's be real, a few chicken strips and fries wouldn't hurt either. By blending approachable menu items with those playful Star Wars twists, Disney could really find a balance that appeals to everybody, and then maybe afterward you could explore the ship, use some of the controls and the gaming aspects. There's also a shop there where you could buy merchandise, and there's even a bar there too where you can grab some drinks. It might make it really fun for people to spend a few hours in there. Third, Disney should find a way to use the Starcruiser while opening up the timeline. When it launched, everything was locked into the sequel trilogy, which meant Rey, Kylo Ren, and the First Order officers were the main focus. But what if the ship could also tell stories from the original trilogy? Imagine being aboard the Halcyon only to have Darth Vader himself stride into the atrium with a fleet of stormtroopers. That's a dream scenario for many fans who grew up with the classic saga. And even in the storyline, the Halcyon did actually run. When Han and Leia got married, they said to have had their honeymoon on the Halcyon. So this ship has been around for quite a long time, so it is possible that it could be used even canonically with different characters from different storylines, just obviously not all at the same time. And Galaxy's Edge and Hollywood Studios is also locked in that sequel area, so this would be a chance to expand the Star Wars offerings at the resort and let fans experience iconic moments with characters from other eras. Although they have expanded some of Disney's Hollywood Studios a bit, I think they could use it even more. And maybe there might be events where they go into the sequel trilogy or even the prequel trilogy. There are different options that could be offered for this, including Mandalorian or Ahsoka, should they choose to do a special event. This would keep things fresh and also bring back people for new adventures, which was what a lot of fans wanted to do. They wanted to experience it again, but maybe with just a little different twist. And this leads leads right into idea number 4, hosting immersive events. The original Starcruiser encouraged roleplay and light cosplay, but it wasn't really required, and sometimes that was cool and sometimes it wasn't. I still think that during the regular events, Disney doesn't need to have anybody wear a costume. So if you're going to the park that day and you want to do the immersive breakfast or the immersive dinner, you can just show up in whatever you were wearing, and that wasn't really relevant, just like you would when you're strolling Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. However, Disney could also host expanded sort of LARPing events where everybody was highly encouraged to dress up, come and do an expanded version of this few-hour dinner show that would offer more around the ship. In this way, Disney could still cater to hardcore Star Wars fans that want deep immersion and casual visitors who want a fun experience without feeling the pressure to act out in character. And finally, the most obvious change, lower the price, but that would come anyway with not a 2-day, 2-night experience. The original price point, a lot of people just said was too high, and it makes sense because if you're comparing, your entire Walt Disney World vacation price versus this price, or even, hey, we could do 2 days in the Star Wars Starcruiser, or we could go on a Disney cruise. For a lot of families, that was kind of a no-brainer. They would rather pick a Disney cruise or some other experience at Disney, maybe even just upgrading from a value hotel to a deluxe hotel for the difference of price point, or expand their vacation from a few days to a week. There's all these different ways that families might want to use their money instead of just doing this 2-day experience. So it makes sense that if Disney was able to run this experience in a more limited way, I don't think they could have done this with the original version because it was very much so a VIP experience. Like I said, with the cast member to guest ratio was really high, and just being able to go into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and have those experiences there and have cast members assist you throughout the whole thing, it really was more in line with what Disney offers with VIP products than it was with what Disney offers with a regular theme park ticket, which is what I think a lot of other guests were expecting. They were expecting something that was comparable to that, but they weren't really understanding that, well, there's only so many people doing this experience, so really it is very limited. It did feel like a private sort of theme park experience, and that's what the higher price point was calling. But doing this still gives people all those experiences they want. It still gives the price point that I think that would make sense to run this. And maybe there's more things I don't know about, but if Disney could somehow make this work in the coming years, I think a lot of guests would like to step on the Starcruiser and check it out. But here's my question for you. What would you like to see happen if the Galactic Starcruiser was ever brought back by Disney? Would you book a dinner show, a breakfast show? Would you like the original storyline with Vader or something different? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see what you have to say. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really does help me out. And if you love theme parks, think about subscribing. I have a lot more topics coming that will be really fun to talk about. And also check out these other videos by me as well. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.